In the quaint town of Milbrook, where picturesque homes masked hidden turmoil, the Hartley family appeared to be the epitome of perfection. However, beneath their seemingly flawless exterior lay a harrowing secret. A mother, Scarlet, was orchestrating a sinister game of deception that endangered her own daughter, Zoe. As their lives unraveled, the shocking truth would expose the dark side of parental obsession and the desperate quest for validation. Ryland and Scarlet Hartley were successful pros in their mid-30s and seen as the backbone of their community. Their adorable 5-year-old daughter, Hartley, seemed to be living the dream. Neighbors often remarked on how dedicated Ryland and Scarlet were to her, always making it to school events and showering her with love. But behind their perfect facade, there was a dark, secret brewing. What was really happening behind the Hartleys' closed doors would shock the community and make everyone rethink how well they actually knew their neighbors. Ryland Hartley was a well-respected pediatrician at Milbrook General Hospital, famous for his gentle bedside manner and genuine care for his young patients. His wife, Scarlet, was a beloved guidance counselor at the local high school, known for her compassionate approach and wise advice. The two met in college, quickly fell in love, and tied the knot soon after graduation. They seemed like a match made in heaven, with their careers focused on helping others. When their daughter Zoe came into the world 5 years ago, their happiness felt complete. Neighbors fondly remember how Ryland and Scarlet would take turns pushing Zoe in her stroller, grinning from ear to ear as they walked through the neighborhood, proudly showing off their beautiful girl. As Zoe grew up, the Hartleys made it their mission to provide her with the best opportunities possible. They enrolled her in the top preschool in town and signed her up for all kinds of activities, from ballet to swimming lessons and even toddler art classes. Scarlet was always volunteering at the PTA, and Ryland dedicated his free time to coaching the local youth soccer team. Their home quickly became the go-to spot for playdates and neighborhood get-togethers, with Scarlet's homemade cookies and Ryland's silly magic tricks making them the life of the party. Zoe seemed to inherit her parents' outgoing and friendly nature, always ready with a smile or a hug. Her preschool teachers adored her creativity and kindness, noting how she was always willing to share her toys and comfort other kids. Their social media presence painted a picture-perfect life. Scarlet's Instagram was full of adorable family moments, while Ryland's Facebook was packed with proud updates about Zoe's accomplishments and family volunteering efforts. Even during tough times, they handled everything with grace. When Ryland's mother passed away, they organized a beautiful memorial and set up a scholarship fund in her honor. They truly seemed like the ideal American family, successful yet humble and always involved in the community. But beneath this shiny exterior, trouble was brewing. Just after Zoe's 4th birthday, she began to have strange health issues, starting with occasional stomach aches that soon escalated to nausea, fatigue, and dizzy spells. At first, Ryland and Scarlet were understandably worried and took Zoe to various specialists. Even with Ryland's connections in the medical field, no one could pinpoint what was wrong. Zoe's teachers noticed her vibrant spirit fading. Where she used to be the first to jump into activities, she now sat quietly in class, her energy dimmed. As the months passed, Zoe's health continued to decline, leading to significant weight loss and dark circles under her eyes. The community rallied around the Hartleys, offering meals and support. Scarlet documented Zoe's symptoms meticulously, while Ryland delved into researching rare pediatric disorders. Despite their efforts, odd inconsistencies began to emerge. Neighbors reported seeing Zoe playing happily outside one day, only to hear Scarlet say she was too weak to get out of bed later that evening. Some hospital staff noticed that Zoe's symptoms seemed to worsen whenever Ryland was on duty, but improved when he was away. As Zoe's health issues persisted, the Hartleys' lives revolved around hospital visits and medical tests. Scarlet's usual poise faded, and Ryland became increasingly distracted and stressed at work. The pressure started to take its toll on their marriage, with rumors of late-night arguments surfacing. While they maintained a brave face in public, privately, they were struggling. Their community was invested in Zoe's story, organizing prayer groups and charity events. Yet amidst all the support, whispers of doubt began to circulate. Some found it strange that a pediatrician couldn't diagnose his own daughter's illness, and questions arose about the necessity of fundraising, given the Hartleys' comfortable financial situation. As the family continued to deal with Zoe's baffling symptoms, it became clear that the reality behind their seemingly perfect life was far more complicated than anyone could imagine. In the shadows of their home, away from prying eyes, Ryland and Scarlet were hiding a disturbing truth that would challenge everything the community believed about them. Late at night, in the kitchen, Scarlet was grinding pills into a fine powder while Ryland looked on, conflicted. They were trying to maintain their facade while Zoe's condition spiraled out of control, revealing a darkness that threatened their lives and their family. Next morning began with Scarlet Hartley preparing breakfast for her daughter, Zoe. As she spooned oatmeal into a bowl, her movements appeared cheerful, but the reality was far from it. Zoe's appetite was gone, her stomach often hurting, but she knew better than to refuse food after a past incident where her mother had reacted coldly to her pushing food away. Scarlet snapped a photo of Zoe, presenting an idealized version of motherhood online, while in truth, she was the architect of Zoe's suffering, seeking attention and validation at the expense of her child's well-being. Zoe's father, Ryland, immersed himself in work to avoid confronting their home life, skillfully deflecting questions from colleagues regarding Zoe's health. Behind closed doors, the Hartleys maintained a facade of concern and care, but their touches felt mechanical and devoid of genuine love. Young Zoe sensed the dissonance in her parents' behavior, associating their attention with pain and fear. As Zoe's health deteriorated, the medical community in Milbrook grew perplexed. Dr. Anita Sharma, the lead pediatrician, called a conference to discuss Zoe's inconsistent symptoms. Just as they thought they were close to a diagnosis, her condition would change unexpectedly. The specter of potential abuse loomed over discussions, but the medical team struggled to connect the dots. Meanwhile, Nurse Olivia Chen had noticed troubling patterns in Zoe's health, particularly how her symptoms worsened when Ryland was on duty. After recalling suspicious behavior from Scarlet, Nurse Chen decided to report her concerns to Dr. Sharma. The following day, Nurse Chen's tip led to a discreet call to Child Protective Services. Detective Lionel Groves was soon brought into the case, approaching it with skepticism, but recognizing the potential for truth hidden beneath the surface. As he investigated, discrepancies in the Hartleys' background began to surface, including large financial withdrawals coinciding with Zoe's hospitalizations and unusual prescriptions written by Ryland. An unexpected breakthrough came from Zoe's preschool teacher, Miss Abigail Foster, who found a drawing Zoe had made depicting a sad stick figure surrounded by pill bottles with the words, "Mommy's special medicine makes me sick." Alarmed, she contacted the police, leading Detective Groves to gather it as evidence. Under questioning, Ryland broke down and confessed, revealing that Scarlet had initiated the scheme for attention and financial help, but it spiraled out of control. As Child Protective Services arrived to take Zoe into emergency custody, the little girl clung to her social worker, filled with fear and relief. News of the Hartleys' arrest sent shockwaves through the community that had supported them. Zoe's recovery began immediately after being removed from her parents' care, with her health improving rapidly in the foster home. In court, the prosecution revealed years of calculated abuse driven by the Hartleys' need for attention and financial gain. Ryland testified against Scarlet in exchange for a plea deal, while she maintained her innocence until the end. Both were found guilty of multiple counts of child abuse, fraud, and endangerment, with Ryland receiving a 20-year sentence and Scarlet sentenced to 30 years without parole. The shocking betrayal left the community grappling with the reality of the Hartleys' deception, while Zoe began her healing journey free from the poison of her past. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.